What is up, ladies and gentlemen? It is welcome back to this week's edition of Tuesdays with Turbo, which is actually on a Tuesday this week. So I'm super excited to get the week started off right. It just seems, once I'm a very much a creature of habit. So once I get thrown off my rhythm of the week, it's really hard for me to get back to it. But we are back to it, and this is, like I said, another edition of Tuesdays with Turbo, where if you're new to this, my name is Ryan Turbo Jackson. I am your insurance resource, and in videos like this, I like to discuss insurance language, insurance policies, break down coverages so that you, the customer, knows exactly what you're buying and are better educated on everything insurance. And let's be honest, insurance is its own language, so let me help you. And that is right. We haven't done one of these in a while. We haven't done a quiz in a while, so we're going to be talking about boat insurance. And I figured, why the heck not? It's 1,000,000,000 degrees here in Michigan, so if you do own a boat, you probably know the answer to a lot of these, but if not, this is the perfect opportunity to take something away and learn a little tidbit here and there. And yes, these are meant to be fun and comical, but still have some educational value. So if you have any questions, make sure to drop it in the chat for those of you that are watching live, and go ahead and answer along with me to see exactly how much you know about boat insurance. And some of these I kind of touched on a couple weeks ago when we were talking about adding toys and boats to a home policy. So if you watch that one, you're going to be a step ahead. So let's get into this week's Claims and Games, the trivia game taking the nation by storm. And like I said, this is going to be centered around boat insurance because it's 1,000,000,000 degrees out. So question 1, what does liability coverage on your boat policy cover? A, damage to your boat. B, fuel for the summer. C, injuries or damages you cause to others. Or D, free snacks at the marina. And if you followed along for any amount of time, liability, think lawsuit. Liability, think lawsuit. And this would be answer C. Now, getting back to the whole, should we add a boat onto our home policy or not? If your boat is on your home policy, that's where the liability would come from, is from your home policy. And if it is, regardless if it's on your home policy or not, if that, anytime there's water around a boat, you're adding extra liabilities, so you need more liability coverage. So again, look into getting an umbrella if you do have a boat, especially, whether it's fishing boat, pontoon boat, jet skis, you name it. If you live by the water or on the water, talk to your agent about an umbrella policy to help go along with that extra liability, or the base policy liability. So question number 2, what of these can be added to most boat policies? A, towing assistance. B, shark repellent. C, pontoon dance party coverage. Or D, unlimited fishing luck. And if you are a couple of my buddies, you wish you could pay for unlimited fishing luck, but unfortunately, for this example, it is answer A, towing assistance. Now you might be thinking to yourself, towing assistance? What type of towing assistance would you need? And this is talking primarily, yes, you can get towing assistance on any boat policy, but we're talking about in particular if you have a boat that goes on a big lake like Lake Michigan. Now you're a couple miles offshore. Next thing you know, the boat breaks down. That's going to be a costly tow bill to have someone come and get you. If you're out in Hemlock Lake here locally in Marcellus, most of the time you're going to call a neighbor or someone and they're going to tow you in, give them a couple adult beverages, and that's that. But if you're out on Lake Michigan or some of these larger inland lakes, they will have someone at the marina that could possibly come get you, or like I said, on the big lake, you're looking at the Coast Guard, and those can be pricey. So if your vessel is in a larger body of water, look into the towing assistance. Question 3. If you store your boat for the winter in Michigan, What should you do with your insurance? A, cancel it because boats hibernate. B, pause it and hope nothing happens. C, drop coverage to storage. Or D, wrap it in bubble wrap and pray. Now, this one, I do want to give a little bit of explanation after, but the correct answer is C, drop coverage to storage. Now, this is something that, regardless, if you have it on your home policy, you can do. A lot of companies, if you have a standalone boat policy, already prorate that. It's under the complete understanding that you're not using your boat in the middle of December here in Michigan. Kind of goes without saying. But if you do have it on your home policy, we can remove the collision coverage. Just keep the comp on there in case it's stolen. Wherever it's being stored, a tree falls on it, if it, vandalized, things of that nature. So keep that in mind, because a lot of the companies that we do standalone boat policies with, they already prorate for it, so you don't need to take it in and out of storage. So again, very, very company dependent. That's why I wanted to kind of give a little extra explanation for that one. Question number 4. Which of these could raise your boat insurance rates? A, owning a yacht the size of a hotel. B, speeding on the water. C, prior claims or accidents. Or D, all of the above. And this one's kind of obvious, but it's all of the above. And kind of let me regardless if your boat is on your home policy or if it's a standalone policy, there does need to be operators added to the policy, meaning we need driver's license number, birth dates, and obviously a name. But there is a motor vehicle report run, and it is, if you do have tickets or claims or accidents, those are rated. Even though you're not on the road, it's, think of your driver's license more of as an operator's license. And for those of you that don't know, there are cops on the lakes, especially in the summertime. I lived on Gull Lake for 2 summers and know very well that we saw cop boats every single weekend when we lived there, and they were quite busy. Mostly because Gull Lake is a very, very busy lake, but even the lakes around here in Marcellus, even though there might not be that much traffic on them, I guarantee from time to time you'll see a police boat out there, doing wellness checks, doing life preserver checks, doing DUI checks. So yes, you can get a DUI on a boat. It is very possible and happens quite frequently. So all of those can affect your rates. So keep that in mind as you're partaking and or purchasing a boat the size or a yacht the size of a hotel. So kind of keep that in mind. I do have an extra question, but this is our last question here for the quiz itself. 5, true or false, homeowners insurance automatically covers your boat no matter what. And let me remove me here. The answer is B, false. However, some home insurance might automatically cover small boats with low horsepower. So what does that mean exactly? Let's take, for instance, like a John boat or a flat bottom boat that just has like a little, 15 horse, 20 horse Merc on the back. That's not breaking any speed records. Do we actually need to list that on the home policy? Again, this is company by company, and if the boat is under a certain amount of feet and the motor is under a certain amount of horsepower, it's just automatically covered. We don't need to. We would need to add the boat liability endorsement, but as far as actually individually insuring that particular vessel, that would just be covered under your personal property. So, does every boat need to be listed on the home policy or have its own policy? Not necessarily. Make sure you check with your agent and make sure the company that you, whether it's a standalone boat policy or on your home, make sure that that you get the rules, because every company is different. But if it does exceed the length rules or has more horsepower than the rules allow, then yep, we do need to either list that on the home or get it its own boat policy. Now, extra question, bonus question. Well, Ryan, what do we do with boats that have living quarters in them? And I'm not saying like a houseboat where it's like a primary residence, because if that's the case, then that is a whole other ball of wax. But let's say you do have a more expensive boat that you do keep on Lake Michigan that does have living quarters in it. You can stay out on the water for a couple days and then come back. Those, and I'm going to use a very, very broad paintbrush here. Those cannot be listed on your home policy. Those need their own specific policy. And depending on the company, they might not have an appetite for it. So this would be something that would need a special policy because it is a special and unique situation. Not every boat has living quarters on it, and again, requires special attention. And usually they are a little bit more expensive than your traditional boat policy because there's more risk involved when you're staying in it overnight. When the boat itself is out more than just a couple hours, obviously the risk is higher for something to happen. So is there a company that will insure them? Yes. Well, broadly, yes. But is it a very special situation that needs a very special policy? Yes, it does. So that has been our claims and games. Like I said, we haven't done a trivia in a while, and I figured, what the heck? It's hot out. Most everyone's going to be going and being drawn towards the water, whether at the public access or a friend's house, whether it's a pool or a lake. And I have a feeling a lot of us last weekend and this weekend will be partaking in some boat activity if we do have access to one. So again, this is just me trying to educate you, let you know what's available out there and which conversations to have with your agent if you do have any questions. And for those of you that do want to get a hold of me directly or ask me any questions or take a look at your current stuff, you can comment on this video, you can shoot me a Facebook message, or here is the office number and my direct email. Take you a second to screenshot that. And that has been Claims and Games Boat Insurance Edition. Everyone be safe. It is hotter than heck out, and it looks like it's going to hang around for at least a couple more days. So what I ask is that A, you yourself stay safe and stay hydrated, and B, check on someone, whether it's an elderly family member or neighbor. Make sure they're doing okay if they need anything, because let's be honest, elderly people do not need to be out in 90+ degree heat. So if young bucks like us can help them in any way, shape, or form, please do so. It could be just letting their dog outside because it's physically too hot for them to do it. So check in with a neighbor or a family member. Let them know that you are available to help. And I will see you next week. Hopefully a little cooler next week. But everyone have a great week, and I will see you next time.